All right, so now we see Asset Rise, a prominent real estate company that delving into agro real estate. We'll be discussing the motivations behind this, strategic move, delving into their mission and examining the significant potential of oil palm cultivation. Well, join us for this conversation. We have Oluwadurotimi Ojamamoye, GMD Asset Rise Limited, joining me right here in the studio. It's great to have you.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Right. So, when you think of real estate, and a real estate company, you expect it's just agency, housing, sales, and all of that, just providing housing solutions. But now you're going into agro. That's the agro side of things. Talk to me about that and what's motivating, you delving into that side of things.
Thank you so much. So agro real estate is not new. We have a great icon who have done this, Awolowo. Back in his years, he founded the Okitipupa Oil Palm PLC, over 10,000 hectares. Luckily, he's in my community. So I learned from everything that we saw there. And today, after 50 years, that place is still yielding revenue, and that is real estate in agriculture. Now, we have taken this further by democratizing what we can do with the oil palm, by making sure that people don't just buy land for building houses alone, they can buy land for agriculture. And then together we can create models to solve food security, create exportable agriculture of the country, and people can earn from agriculture. So these are model for agro real estate. Basically, all over the world, farm assets, farm acquisition as an asset is a major investment. And definitely, the land we appreciate over time, and sooner than later, that same land that is 50,000 today, after you have farmed on it for 10 years, 20 years, can become 100 million tomorrow. So right. That's all about the agro real estate model.
So if I want to, key into that side of things, all I'm doing is I'm buying, agro land, at this point. So what's the earning potential there?
Okay. Let me give you a bit of what we have done with this. So as of today, we are cultivating about 4,000 hectares in 4 different states. In Oyo State, currently we have an oil mill processing palm oil at about 1.5 tons per day. We recently launched a 3,000 hectares in Ado-Uduota, Ogun State, and we are going to be launching a 5,000 hectares this year, also in Ogun State. Now, what it means to the investors is that you buy this land, you own it. And then, because it is a community, we're able to provide better security, better practice of agriculture. We partner with NIFOR, with other institutions, IITA, to see how this is done professionally. And then the oil palms grow, and then you can earn for over 30, 40, 50 years, because the oil palm is sustainable for a very long time. So your profitability is not just today. It is for a very long time, both on the oil palm and also on the land asset that is going to be appreciated. And we have seen this become a major force to solve some basic problem in Nigeria. For example, this is a model to solve poverty. I'll give you an example. You're going to retire someday, and then you will retire to something that should be dependable. And I can tell you that the palm oil or the palm oil plantation can serve as a retirement plan. If you own a 5 hectare today, cultivated with palm tree, you are definitely sure of having passive income for over 40, 50 years. And then you are not pressured at your retirement. For cooperative organizations, they can invest massively in oil palm. For churches, for different institutions. And when we talk about this in our model for sustainability, beyond the oil palm, is the fact that the land itself can be intercropped. So the oil palm is planted at a very space that can allow other crops to do well on it. So today in Lagos State, we operate the biggest farm right in Ekpe with oil palm. Last year, we had the Commissioner for Agric visit our Eco-Yams project. 2023, right in the midst of this oil palm, we understand how to do it. It is far profitable for everyone and is a value chain to explore for decades.
And, definitely there's also, impacts, when you're looking at this kind of business. Talk to me about the environmental side of things.
Thank you so much. Now, you see, when I speak about Lagos State, you have a lot of industries in Lagos State. I think Lagos should be more concerned about having a lot of oil palms because the trees will support the environment. If you go to Okitipupa today, you have about 1.5 million trees planted. So the more trees we can plant, not just trees now, economic trees can also help our environment to survive. Last year, I was privileged to be on the UK House of Parliament, and I was speaking about sustainability and telling them simply about my father's story. He died when I was 14. He planted over 100 acres of the oil palm. When he died, that was our sustainability. We don't need to beg any uncle to go to school. We mill palm oil, pay our tuition. But talk about the environmental impact. He's gone for over 20-something years now. Those trees are still supporting the environment. So agric has a lot of potential to sustain our environment beyond the economic impact that it will give onto us.
Right. And yeah, sorry about your dad, but I'm sure many years ago, I'm sure he was a great guy.
Yeah.
Talk to me about results.
Great.
That you've seen so far with this.
Okay. So let's talk about results and see the inflation in Nigeria right now and see how farmers are smiling to the bank. 2024, as of January, a 25-liter keg of palm oil was 15,000. Today is 70,000 naira. So the farmer who cannot speak English is earning more than even a bank manager in Lagos currently. Agric is a potential. Now talk about poverty eradication. A lot of persons who can go back to the farm, like I just told you, we did over 1 million tubers of yam in Lagos. On an hectare of land, you can do about 10,000 tubers. So the economic potential of agric is large, and that's the impact. So for us, with over 4,000 hectares, we're currently connected to both Nigerians at home and abroad, more Nigerians in diaspora who are investing back home in the oil palm plantation, and we are creating sustainable wealth together with Nigerians, consultants who work with us across this real estate potential. So enormous job creation opportunity. Number 3, food security. The oil palm has a lot of economic impact. Almost all the cosmetics, pharmaceuticals, and food industry use the palm oil. So it's a great demand for both local and international markets. And for domestic and industrial consumption, the palm oil industry is a major. You have potential from the palm kernel oil, from everything that you see in the palm oil is a major thing. Now, what we are advocating...
So it seems nothing goes to waste.
Nothing at all. Nothing at all. So what we are advocating to our youths, rather than waiting for the government, to a lot of our elders, rather than blaming the government for what to do, let's go back to the farm. We have this with us. Malaysia today, their entire economy is powered with palm oil. You see companies like Okumu and the rest of them with decades, over 50 years, palm oil, and billions of naira in declaration. This is a large potential for us to create wealth in Nigeria for ourselves.
Right, and definitely, I love the sound of that, creating wealth, for Nigeria, because we need that, right there. But how do we properly, diversify, with agro real estate? Because at this point, you don't know when your asset class, something you're holding in your portfolio is going to come under fire, with what we're seeing, these days in the market.
So let me talk jokingly about fire. These palm trees are the most sustainable agric you can talk about. When fire gets into an oil palm farm, if the fire is extinguished, the palm tree will grow back.
Wow.
Yes, you can experiment that. And then it's agile. Climate change, the palm tree will withstand. So it's very agile. Then the assets, the land itself, it's your asset. You own the land. That's the model now. It's democratized, so you can own 1 hectare, and then your land is appreciating. And then to protect this asset, that's when we now go into partnership with governments. As of date, we are in talks with the Enugu State government, who is giving us about 7,000 hectares, Abia State government, about 10,000 hectares, and in Enugu State, we have a lot of hectares developed already. Why do we need to go to the government? Because land is the major asset. So our people in diaspora want to invest, but they want to make sure that their investment is secure. Nigerians want to invest, but want to make sure their investment is secure. So the land must be secure. Then after the security of the land is the partnership with major players to make sure that we plant it right and it grows. Now, you plant it once and for all, and you reap for over 50 years. So the potential is enormous if we do it legally and if we do it rightly.
Right, and we definitely want to do it right at this point. But what more can we expect from asset rise going into 2025?
Thank you. So this year, let me also mention that we have diversified from the sustainable. Palm tree is sustainable to the more risky part of agric, because we have the income flow now. And that's a major advice to a lot of people who want to go into agric. You want to experiment with what is not sustainable, it is not advisable. Start with the palms, then you can experiment. Now, we have partnered with Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, and Channels was on the program. We are currently empowering over 1,500 students of that institution with our SAP project. and with 100 hectares right in the school. And we also have schools coming in, Federal University of and Federal Polytechnic Ilaru, and other universities that we are partnering with to expand the agri portfolio that and our benefit to Nigeria. So this year we're going to go into more partnership. Let me also mention that the Nigerian Society of Engineers currently signed an MOU with us to expand our project in 2025 with a model to create the farm in 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria. And there is a lot more that we can give. But more of it, let's democratize it. You can own an oil palm tree farm, and then you can walk in Lagos and not be bothered. It is the only investment in agri that you cannot be there and it's still growing. In fact, you can abandon it for 10 years and come back and your business is still continuing. Right. That is how agile and sustainable.
Because we've heard of, some agriculture investments, in the past where, you come back and you see that the asset is not there, anymore. And, you hear stories about, you're not able to, get the returns, that you're supposed to get before. So, how is this model eliminating, all of that? Because when people hear about agricultural investments, some of them get scared. They're like, it's here again. Yeah. How do you hedge against all of that?
So thank you. I think jokingly last year or thereabouts, we went talk with channels, and channels said, no, we're not taking any agri company. A lot of issues with these people. But we understand that channels also has contributed a lot to sanitizing the industry and removing a lot of scams. Now, if you want to come into agri, first, guarantee the asset. Go and make your search. Go to the government, the Ministry of Land, search that the land is not under government acquisition. Engage your lawyer. Then 2, we are going to plant for you once you acquire. And this is not a sit back and expect. You can inspect and see the progress. A lot of our clients come to the site. Currently, the Adodo plant is having an agro-tourism in there. So you can come to your farm, sleep in there, and even retire there. You can build a resource in the farm. So it's an all-encompassing model that will be sustainable and will eliminate fraud. Now, lastly about fraud. This is not an investment scheme promising you get 60%, you get 30%. No, you own this. The potential for oil palm is all available. You can Google it. Once it is planted right, you are certain of your return. And I just experimented. On a one plot, if you can get about 5 to 10 kegs in a year, multiply that by 70,000 naira right now. Then you're getting a good return. Right. On a projection. On an hectare, you are good. And the asset that you own is certified for you and is increasing over time.
Right. I'll definitely love to wake up, in a farm, because I love nature.
Awesome. You want to come to Kipupa and wake up seeing trees all around.
Exactly. I'm sure the air feels different.
Awesome.
There.
Awesome.
I'd love to experience it. But thank you so much. It was great having you today, Oluwaduro Timi. He's a GMD, Asset Rise Limited, breaking down this investment opportunity for us.
Okay. If you want to get back to us, we have a brochure you can download, study it, and engage us legally, because it must be rightly done.
It must be rightly done. Well said. Thank you so much. It was great having you today.
Thank you.